Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. So today we have something very special for you because we never really talk much about the depth of what it means to receive a personal mantra initiation. Um, it's something we've actually never done before. And Dr. Pillai has been talking about it for a few years now, at least to me, mentioning that this would be something very valuable for our community. And today we're going to hear all about what that is, why it's valuable, and what it can do for you and your life. So I'm joined here with Kalkidas Siddhar, or some of you know him as Sunny, and he's going to help us understand the depth of what it is and what it means to have a personal mantra initiation. So we're going to get started with what is a mantra initiation? What does this mean? I know Dr. Pillai has talked a little bit about this, but let's give our folks some background on what is a mantra initiation. How does it differ from just chanting a mantra off of the internet, for example, without being initiated into it? So first we'll talk about generally mantra initiation, then we'll get into what a personal mantra initiation is. So thank you for being here, Kalkidas Siddhar.
Thank you, Lakshmi. It's wonderful to join you today. And it's a topic that is very close to my heart because I have benefited a lot in my spiritual journey because of personal mantras given by Dr. Pillai. So this is a topic I have never spoken before. And like you said, we haven't had a program such as this, but something Dr. Pillai has always talked about doing. So I'm very grateful with his blessings. We are doing this, we can do this program now. So basically, see, there are mantras available, right? You can go online and search for them. There are mantras available in books. But this is what, the world we live in, the information age. But if you look at the tradition itself of the Vedic masters or enlightened masters, the mantras were handed down from the teacher to the student, right? And it was done orally. It's called an oral tradition where they won't write down anything. Mostly it is maybe a few things they would write down, but all the very precious information was orally transmitted, right? So obviously we live in a different age, and at this time a lot of what was not available unless you go and study with a teacher is now available on the internet. However, the mantras themselves have to be activated. Okay, so so for example, if you have been in a live teaching session with Dr. Pillai and he transmits a mantra to a group, so that is his intention, his energy, and his self-realization all packed into that initiation that he transmits. Now, you may have heard, let's say, a mantra like Om Namah Shivaya, and it's everybody, and a lot of people know that mantra. But you can do it on your own, and there are benefits. Even if you don't get it from a guru, you can get up to 20% just because the mantra, the sounds have their own power. But if you really want to experience, tremendous results from your mantra chanting, it has to be given to you by someone who can activate the Shakti or the energy in the letters of the mantra, who can energize each letter in a mantra, and who can consciously impart it to you. And when that is given to you, so initiation in the Indian tradition is not just knowledge of a mantra and pronunciations, things like that, but it's also the power or the Shakti element. So it is the knowledge element, which is this is the mantra you should do, and also the Shakti element. It is an awakened. So when you the mantra becomes a force in your life. It is not just a sound like we say, oh, mantra the sounds. No, they are much more than that. They are forces. They are cosmic forces, universal forces. So that is a mantra initiation in general.
Thank you. That's fantastic. Very insightful. And once we have the mantra initiation, what does it mean to receive a personal mantra initiation?
Right. So a personal mantra is, so for example, I have learned I don't know, a few thousand mantras over the 24 years of studying with Dr. Pillai, right? And
Yeah,
other,
most people who has been studying with him have. There's
right?
no shortage.
Yeah, no, right? You have learned so many mantras, right? But a personal mantra is one, it is as if you are almost destined to chant that mantra. And let me explain what I mean by that. This is not, our first life. We have lived before, and if you have become a spiritual seeker, you can know for sure that this is a multi-life journey that you're on or have been on, and you may have cultivated certain energies or certain mantras in your past birth. Okay, you may have spent many lifetimes doing it, or at least a significant part of your last lifetime doing it. And those mantras are already there within your soul, which is your unconscious and subconscious mind. But consciously, you do not know them. Okay. So, someone who has been trained and has this ability to look at your soul and then see the energy within it, they can identify it, they can actually visually see it, and they can audibly hear it, and then they can identify the sound that goes with that energy. For example, let me simplify it, like a goddess. Someone may have the goddess Saraswati in them, or Lakshmi in them, or someone may have Hanuman in them, or someone may have Jesus in them, based on what has been your focus in several lifetimes. And if that can be identified and the sound corresponding to that energy is given to you, then that mantra initiation is a personal mantra initiation, because it is not something one mantra which is taught to a lot of people, but it is something that you already have established a link with. So, in my personal experience, several years ago, during the 9 nights of the goddess on the eighth moon, Dr. Pillai, just on the phone, not even in person, on the phone, gave me a mantra for the goddess Bala. And within, I don't know, 5, 7, maybe less than 10 minutes, I was able to had a tremendous experience of this goddess. So that is because I have cultivated that energy, um, in many, many lifetimes. And that's why I'm attracted to the goddess worship. You don't, there is no accident. So a personal mantra is something that can awaken all the work you have done in several lifetimes, and you're meant to chant them. And you will find that the personal mantras work a lot more than general mantras. So yeah, a lot of the transformation that I have experienced spiritually, amazing things have come through personal mantra chanting. That doesn't mean you don't chant other mantras, but the personal mantra is really meant for you.
Right. And because folks were asking really what is the unique benefit, right? Like if I have all these mantras from Dr. Pillai, or out there in general, why do I need a personal mantra? And so,
that's a very good question. Well, there are the way I would speak from my own experience. Number one, you get to know, okay, which archetype already have a link with at a soul level, right? That's very helpful information. Now, if you know that a certain goddess like Lakshmi, you already have a connection with her, then if you can find the right mantra to chant for her, it makes your job a lot more easier. And like I said, these mantras are very powerful because you already have the energy, so they work better. Okay, or I would say that they work very, very powerfully. And the other thing I've seen, they are relevant for a long time. Meaning, it's not like you get a personal mantra and you chant it for a few days and then you're done with it. These mantras will remain effective, I believe, for your whole lifetime, because some of the mantras I received, 10, 15 years ago, they still work for me. These are my personal mantras. But there are other mantras I may have learned that I don't do anymore. But the personal mantras, since they have really worked so well, I always revisit them over and over. So it's really activating that divine power that is already within you, right? So these mantras are specialized for activating the divine force that is already within you. And then they bring out that power. So whether you have manifestation goals or changing some patterns in your life, or, enlightenment. These mantras are very powerful because you're not starting from scratch. And, so once you get these two, it's like your personal tool, personalized mantra. So that's what I have found. The cosmic power, the divine power that comes through is a lot stronger in these mantras.
Right. You're like fast tracking right here the progress that you're wanting to make because this mantra
Absolutely.
specific.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that. It is fast track. So in my case, again, I can give concrete examples. The goddess mantras, have been very useful to fast track things for me. So when I do other practices, yes, I see progress. But these mantras, they are just so much more results in the same amount of effort. So this is really something. If you are called to discover, see, one thing you have to understand that not everyone in the world, there are 8 billion people, right? Not everyone is going to, not everyone may have even worked on mantras in their past life, right? So it's not for everyone. But, those who are listening to us, Lakshmi, they are going to be drawn to it and they will feel, oh, when you feel it in the heart, then you know that there is a mantra waiting for you. And if you can get that revelation, it's a revelation. It's a hidden truth, it's a hidden secret. Once you get to know, then that becomes a great tool for transformation, really.
Yeah. And only certain people can impart the a personal mantra and a mantra initiation, right? So in this case, you'll be doing it.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about how Dr. Pillai has prepared you to be the one to be able to, like you said, see into the soul of somebody to determine what that mantra is in the first place, and then give them the initiation into that sound that's then going to create, the flow of accelerated progress.
This is a very important question to understand, right? Important aspect, because there are, at least, I mean, not many places where you can get a personalized mantra, because usually what they do, most places where you go to get a mantra, they have a list of mantras, right? And you come, and based on different parameters, it could be how many years you have meditated, what is your age, what is your gender, what do you want to accomplish. They have an algorithm or a way of figuring out what mantra I should chant, right? And that is usually what most people follow. But that is not the highest form of personal initiation. The one that Dr. Pillai has taught me and trained me in, and that's what we are helping people. There are already people coming who are, getting this initiation from me, is based on looking at the soul. And I, through Dr. Pillai's blessings, have received the ability over many years. This is not something right that happened today, but it probably started from 2009 onwards. Okay, that's when I, 2000, like the later half of 2008 is when I met him for the first time in person, and then I started getting trained by him. So when a person comes in front of me, I will be able to see the archetype, the god or goddess, or the divine force within their soul. Sometimes there are more than one. It's not like there's only one. Sometimes there could be more than one. If there are more than one, then you will get, let's say, yesterday I gave a personal mantra initiation to someone, and this lady had both Narsimha, the form of Vishnu, and also Garuda, which is another, an archetype associated with Vishnu. So I gave her mantras for both because that's what I saw within her. But there were other divine beings within her, but this is the prominent energy that was coming forward to help her at this, in her life journey. So this ability to look at somebody's soul, not their body, not their mind, not their thoughts, but their soul really, and see and to hear what is in the energy that is there, and to identify that is a divine gift. It's not something. There are no 4 5 step process to follow. Meaning, there is the initial. It's a divine intuition. It's an insight. And then Dr. Pillai has given me a process of how I can get into a state of consciousness where the sound, the mantra related to this God can be revealed to me. That they have, because each energy has so many mantras. Each god has so many mantras. What mantra they have to chant? Then I pick that mantra and then give it to them. Right? So it's not really I deciding. I should not even say pick, because I don't decide the mantra. Whatever is revealed, we impart that.
Right. Perfect. And you'll be in a different state of mind to be able
Yes.
to see that in somebody, basically,
Yes.
which is more of a channeling state.
Yes.
Super.
Correct.
And so tell us a little bit about this process. So when someone, you're doing this online, how does it work?
So people come on Zoom, okay? And what I do is I do a ceremony to invoke Ganesha, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, the goddess, multiple gods and goddesses on my altar. I invoke their blessings first. Then I invoke the blessings of Dr. Pillai, because he's the one who has, created this possibility for people to get the mantra. Then I invoke Agastya. Saint Agastya is the head of the Siddha lineage. It's called Siddha Parampara, the Siddha tradition, the tradition of Siddha masters and gurus. So I invoke him. And with the blessings of Dr. Pillai and Agastya, then I pray for the revelation of this particular person's, mantra. And then the first I'm shown a vision of the archetype within them. Then I pray for the sound to be revealed for this person to do. And then the sound is revealed. And then, and I am guide, whatever I see, whatever I hear, I communicate with the. So you're really part of the ceremony and you're part of the revelation. It's very exciting when you're there. Step by step, these things are being revealed. And most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, people say, wow, I have been thinking about this God for many days, and I have been attracted to this God from my childhood. So, so I always find that most of the time, people are already aware of their connection, but I don't know that, right? I don't ask them which God you worship or anything like that. They just come, and then this process reveals. So then when the mantra is revealed, I give it to them. And then usually they have questions about how much to practice, when to practice. And sometimes those details can come in the process itself, or based on my own knowledge, I tell them. And based on how much they can practice, I help them design what is their weekly schedule of practicing it.
Great. That's fantastic. And then this is recorded for folks, I believe, right? So that they can take that away.
Yes, it is recorded. So I ask people, would you like a recording of this? And most people want a recording. Some people say, no, I just want to enjoy it right now. I don't need the recording. And that's, it's up to them. But I ask them, do you want it recorded? Yeah.
Okay. Super. And I know we have a couple questions, actually. I'm going to see if we have anything else. Well, anyway, folks, post your questions in chat. We will get to those. And another question that I have for you, Kalkidas, is you had mentioned that there were several people you've given the mantra to, or given a mantra to, and some feedback that you've received that we'd like to share.
So I gave a Shiva mantra to someone. And within, just yesterday night, she was sharing this with me, that she had been applying for jobs, and she has been in a foreign country for many years, and she has been getting any decent job for a long time. And within 1 week of doing the mantra, she got 5 interviews, because she couldn't even get interviews before. It was very unusual. She got 5 interviews, and she accepted one job offer, and then two of the jobs she had to decline because she already got the job offer. So this is just within 1 week. And this was when I was giving the mantra, I knew that this was the mantra for Shiva to remove karma. So I knew that this mantra will work for these people, because that is the mantra that they were meant to receive. Okay, that's one. Then I gave another person a goddess mantra. And she had not known about this goddess, or she had not worshipped this goddess, at least consciously in this life. The whole day, she reported, the whole day, her forehead was vibrating. The whole day, the mantra energy was blissful. The whole day, she was in bliss, basically. And see, that is the proof that the mantra is meant for you. The moment you hear it, there is an aha moment within you, or you feel the energy. So the other day, another woman, again on Zoom, um, I gave her a mantra for Durga. Durga was the goddess she was supposed to worship. And then all the problems that she is facing for the last 5 years, uh, Durga is actually the right goddess for that. But again, I don't know her. I don't know what problems she was facing after I gave her the mantra. She was discussing those things with me. So the mantra that comes can also be oftentimes very relevant to what you're going through right now, and that could be a remedy for what you're going through. That's another aspect we didn't touch upon. They're often the mantra that will come to you because, like I said, I have personally received 3 or 4 personal mantras over the time that I have known Dr. Pillai. So it's not like there is only one mantra for you. A few years later, you may receive another mantra. So sometimes the mantra which is coming is very relevant, immediately relevant to solve the problems, the challenges a person is going through at the moment.
Which is a really good transition into something else I wanted to ask, which is this, and earlier you said it's a lifelong empowerment initiation. You can continue to use this mantra for years and decades to come. Is it beneficial at some point to receive a new one if, for example, you feel a shift has changed, something has shifted in your life, and like you said, this mantra right now is a remedy for you, and maybe a year, 2, 3 years from now, there could be something different awaiting you, or a different god or goddess has come through that then you'd be able to see and give that insight for somebody.
Yeah, our souls are very ancient. So it's not like, so there is no straightforward answer. But it's true that in my own journey, every few years, I feel like, what's next? What else should I focus on? Like that's our natural curiosity. And luckily, Dr. Pillai at that time gave me the mantras that I needed. So, like I said, you may receive a few mantras over a period of 10, 15, 20 years, And so I do feel that the mantras uh, are relevant to you right now. And also they are relevant in a very long-term sense, right? So they're relevant right now, but they're also relevant long term. So some of the mantras I learned in 2008, I still revisit them because I knew they worked for me. I have that confidence when I saw that they worked for me, then I can go back to them over and over again. So they've become very useful for me to know which mantras work for me. It's a very useful knowledge. So
Right.
yes, you can receive different mantras. You can come back in the future, get another mantra. But again, the one thing you have to understand, it is not in my hands. It's not like I am reading from a list of mantras and last time I gave you this time I'll give you this. It's not like that. You will come, and whatever revelation happens, I share that with you as the revelation comes. Okay, there is no editing that I do. Whatever comes, I share with you, and I see that people resonate with it immediately. They have a deeper resonance with it. So yes, you can receive more than one mantras. Some of you who are seekers, right? You are very interested in your evolution, your spiritual growth. You will receive multiple mantras. This is my belief.
Right. Well, thank you very much. And there's a good question in chat, which says, how does this compare to the mantra given? Is it different from the mantra that is given in your Nadi reading?
Then I think you're talking about the chapter 14 of the Nadi,
Mm-hmm.
where most of the time, if I'm not wrong, they don't ask you to chant the mantra. The priest will chant it on your behalf for 48 days, or like 48 days, one cycle, sometimes it's two cycles of 48 days. And
It could be
and
both. Just for clarification, it could be both. Like we could also be they sometimes ask you to chant it, and then definitely the priest is chanting it into that yantra.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes they can ask you to chant it, but I have found that most of the time, right, it's the priest uh, remedy will be there, and that's like the main, and then they ask you to wear that energized plate. So that's a different, those nadi is really for remedies. So that mantra is mostly for remedying your current situation most of the time. And that nowhere Nadi says that that is your personal mantra. So that
Right.
is different. This is
Yeah.
different. And again, the Nadi reader doesn't initiate you.
True.
There's no initiation there.
Yeah.
They are just telling you what came here is, but they are not able to energize it and give it to you. So that is not initiation per se.
Mm-hmm. Right. Very good. Couple more questions. Great questions in chat. Keep them coming. So if a person has already been initiated or following another tradition, is it okay to receive a mantra initiation from you?
There is no conflict. It will not hamper anything. It's something like the more practices you do, the more benefit you get. Okay, so there is no, you don't have to worry about I have to give this up to do this. Nothing like, there are no rules like that. This is a divine revelation meant for you, and if you are meant to have it, you will get it, and it is something that is meant for you to chant. Okay, so this is not, you don't have to worry about any conflict. There are no conflicts.
Perfect. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Another question let's see, we have pronunciation. So folks are asking about pronunciation. Do you prescribe or give mantras that are hard to pronounce? And if so, are there negative impacts that can happen when you mispronounce a mantra?
It is not in my control, right? Whichever mantra comes, I simply energize it and give it to you. I don't decide on the complexity of the mantra or any other thing like that. But I will help you to get the pronunciation right. So you will have me on the call, right? And I make sure that people, get the pronunciation right. And most of the mantras are simple mantras. They're shorter mantras. Not all of them. One or two people got longer mantras, but I think they had the capacity to chant those mantras. That's why they were given to them, or that's why they were revealed to them. But most of the time, the mantras are short and very easy to do. And these are divine mantras. They will adjust themselves in your consciousness, and I will help you to pronounce them correctly. So don't worry about it. These are not very difficult to pronounce. And I haven't seen any mantra like that yet.
Okay. Perfect. And someone's asking, how long does it take after receiving the mantra to show some results or feel an impact?
See, with any mantra practice, it all depends on a couple of things. Number one, how sincerely and how regularly you practice it. And oftentimes, in the beginning, we have to do it regularly for us to start, vibrating with the mantra. So it's up to you. If you do very little practice, it's going to take longer. But if you put in 15, 20, 30 minutes, or you remember the mantra throughout the day, whenever you can, you'll begin to vibrate with the mantra, and the mantra will begin to help you.
Okay, perfect. That looks like all of our questions so far from our chat. And that's all the questions I actually had for you as well. Do you have any other anything else you'd like to share with us?
Anything else? I really feel that though for people who are interested in connecting with the divine, this is a great opportunity, because the mantra, each god or goddess has a certain particular sound, right? And that is what this mantra is. So those of you who want to experience God, experience, God's action in your life to help you, this will be a great way to receive a mantra that can connect you with the divine in a very powerful way. So I would leave you with that thought. And those of you who feel a response to get your own mantra initiation, that is your cue that this is something that is waiting for you.
Perfect. Beautiful. I love that it's waiting for you. It's right there on the other side of this veil of this illusion of this world. There's a couple people who are also mentioning who've already received initiations from you, and mentioning in chat how one person said that it has really assisted her ability to, I forget exactly what it was. It was earlier on. I meant to, but anyway, already response in the chat from people who have received initiation from you. Another person said that yes, you work with them on the pronunciation, so no worries about that. Again, you'll receive the recording, folks, so you'll have that with you, and you can just continue to repeat it until you're comfortable. And if you have any questions, definitely write to us, office@pillaicenter.com. And the link is below this video if you're interested in partaking in this particular service with Kalkidas Siddhar. As he said, Dr. Pillai has been initiating him almost his whole life into mantras. And I will attest to this. Dr. Pillai does say that Sunny Kalkidas is the one who knows his teachings much more than many other people who studied with him in this life, and has given him this great blessing and honor to be able to pass on the initiation. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kalkidas, the initiation is coming from the lineage, right? Like, so the lineage, and as you said, with your puja in calling upon Ganesha as well as Agastya, Dr. Pillai, this is coming through all of them, and then through you. Can you, and maybe just revisiting that before we go, can you?
This mantra gets revealed only when I invoke the lineage. I've seen that, right? So I invoke Agastya, who is who started the Siddha tradition, who's also started the yoga tradition, because one of the original 7 saint rishis, seers of India. So when I invoke them and Dr. Pillai, it is then with their blessings that the mantra, that the archetype is shown to me, and then the sound is revealed to me. So it's really, I invoke them, and that's how it happens. So in my experience and the way I see it happening, it is really the blessings of the gurus, not just 1 or 2 guru, but the whole tradition of gurus, that this revelation becomes possible. Because it's not, you have to understand, the soul, your soul is 7 layers deep. Even through meditation, it's very hard to go into your soul and, see what is in there. So this is really a divine blessing that this happens within this short period of time that we are on the call. And it's just blessings that this is even possible. And that is why this is the most powerful initiation, because you're getting the mantra, which you already vibrate with, but you're not consciously aware of it. But your unconscious mind knows, your soul knows. Number 2, it is coming through the blessings of the enlightened master, the tradition of enlightened masters, right? So it is really their blessings that make it possible to get the mantra and to bless you with it.
Yeah. That's amazing. It's absolutely sacred. So, folks, this is, like I said earlier, something we have not offered before, something Dr. Pillai has been speaking about for over a year, at least to me, something they've been wanting to have occur and given to our community, because it's so important. And now that Dr. Pillai is talking more about entering the golden age, it was a perfect timing that we have at our fingertips, this great blessing, and through Kalkidas Siddhar, receiving the empowerment of Dr. Pillai's lineage and directly into you and into your soul. So again, there's a link below if you'd like to read more, as well as register for this. There's been some folks in the chat asking about payment plans or anything to that effect. write to us. We'll accommodate you as best we possibly can. So office@pillaicenter.com. There's one person asking if there's any type of follow-up or clearing of any doubts after the session occurs. Maybe you can speak to that.
Oh, yes. So there is no formal follow-up because do spend time with you. So I give you the mantra and then I spend time with you answering your questions and anticipating what doubts will come and all. I answer your questions. So it's not like I'll give you the mantra and we'll end the call there. I do speak with you afterwards. So most of them are taken care of. I think about 10 people have already registered for this in the last 2 weeks or something like that, because this service we did not announce it before, but we made it available and some people found the page. So only one or two people out of that had some additional follow-up questions that they didn't think about when they were speaking with me, and they wrote an email to our Pillai office at Pillai Center. And then once I get the questions, I let them know what the response should be, and it is communicated to you.
Right.
But don't worry about it. Like I said, it's not complicated. It's very simple, and you will not face any complications in doing these practices.
Yeah. Perfect. It's all absolutely divinely guided.
Yeah.
So I think that covers all of our questions. And thank you so much, Kalkidas Siddhar, for imparting this wisdom to us today. And thank you for the opportunity to receive this amazing gift. I'm excited because this is, like I said, something new, and I know our community will greatly benefit from this. And of course, we're thankful to Dr. Pillai, Ganesha, Agastya, and all of the lineage that we're all part of through Dr. Pillai's grace. So folks, if you're interested, you can click the link below, find out more. And if you do need payment plan or something to that effect, just write to us and we'll help you as best we possibly can. So folks, we'll see you soon, and wishing you a great, blessed new year as we continue to move into this year, and namaste.